Hi there. So Chamber asked us to do a video for them. As an accountant, the obvious thing for us to talk about is your numbers. Now, we're going to talk about things that you probably all know if you're running your own businesses, we get that. But we just want to try and break it down into some practical support, a bit of a checklist that, given everything going on and all of the stress and worry, it might just help to just break it back down to the bits that you can control. So the first on our list will be absolutely apply for the support that is available out there. So that is have a look on the gov.gg website for /COVID, and also we're putting everything in our articles page on our degari.gg website, and in there we're providing guidance around the support and answering the questions we are getting asked all the time, etc. So the main support currently available is the £3,000 grant for small businesses that are in the sectors listed. So a small business is under 10 staff, and the payroll co-funding scheme also for those affected sectors, and that will be at 80% of the minimum wage if the business tops up the extra. So you need to be in those sectors, and you also need to be an employee. That is not for the self-employed at the moment. And that's been a huge topic that we've been looking at over the last couple of weeks, how, what support is available for the self-employed. And we really feel that now we've been heard and that is coming. So watch this space and we will share out what comes, because the government do recognise that the self-employed haven't been treated as fairly in all of this, and they're going to try and rectify that. So apply for all the support, but then equally important is know your numbers. Understand your cash burn rate. How long can your business last? How quick do you go through funds? What can you pause? What can't you? Etc. etc. And so one of the best things you can do right now is really understand your how much money you've got in the bank, what you owe, what's owed to you. Get your bookkeeping up to date. And then with that knowledge, you can start reviewing your numbers. You can restrict what you can of your outgoings. You can talk to your creditors, pay what you can, and defer what you can. But if you can afford to, keep that cash flow moving. Chase your debtors, and equally, if you can afford to, try and set up payment plans. To be honest, even if you can't afford to, you may need to accept payment plans, a best scenario at the moment. Defer your states, social security, just the employer's piece. So that's the 6.6% on top of what you pay your staff. But if you're self-employed, that is the whole amount that you pay to social security. So you can defer that, and you can also request a refund if you've already paid for Q1, and you can defer Q2. You can also defer any TRP or request it back. And look at if, once you understand your numbers, consider if borrowing is a good option for you, and then you might want to talk to your bank. I would recommend you absolutely talk that through with your accountant first. It may not be sensible to take on extra borrowing at this point. That may, make your business weaker when we come out the other side of this, and there might be better options, but it might well be the right solution, and it might be something that you've been trying to get before, but you haven't succeeded in getting borrowing. And once you really understand your business numbers, also look at all your personal stuff. Do you have any personal loans, mortgages that you could arrange payment holidays on those? If so, talk to your bank and ask that. They are listening and they are trying to help. So take stock of where you are with everything, review it, restrict what you can, and keep forecasting and really know your numbers. Keep that bookkeeping up to date. If you use a system like Xero, which is what we always recommend for our clients, then it is really easy to keep your bookkeeping up to date. You can have your bank feeding in and then just keep on top of it. We also have some add-ons that we can provide our clients, like Fluidly, so that you can easily do cash flow forecasting. And we're giving Fluidly for free at the moment for up to 3 months, which Fluidly are helping with it. And it's a really good system, easy to use, looks at the individual invoices and payments, assuming Xero is up to date. As well as the payroll co-funding and the £3,000 grant, There are other ways to get support, including the hardship fund and income support. You obviously need to bear with the business support teams because this is all totally new to them and they are overwhelmed with inquiries and people sending their forms in, etc. And absolutely talk to an accountant. So if you have an accountant, talk to them. Feel free to give one of us a call. If you drop us an email on office@degare.gg, we can get someone to give you a call back because my team are all working from their own homes at the moment. If not, there's also on the GBA website, there's a list of accountants, lawyers, lots of different areas of support where they're freely giving advice. And some really useful Facebook groups, including the small business group that has been set up, and lots of accountants in there offering advice that are very available if you want to message any of them. And then my final piece of advice that I keep telling everyone, and I do think it helps, is just focus on what you can control. We don't know when this is going to end, and just worrying about everything that we can't control isn't helping. So just, if you get into the detail, you know your numbers, then focus on what you can control. Okay, and give us a call if you need to.